Hello, good evening, everybody. So my name is Ibelice Perez, and I'm gonna present, which is my final production about English conversation. The topic tonight is drug trends, terrible consequences for society. So we're gonna start, which is with the objective of the final production. So the objective of my final production is to try to understand the meaning of drugs and why it is not good for our health. Also, I would like to know why do the people use it frequency in their life. So then we have, which is the introduction, and I say that in this present project I'm gonna talk about drug trends and terrible consequences for society. So how drugs affects the human's body, reasons why addicted people cannot stop using drugs in their life, how people start using drugs, the kind of drugs that the addicts people use in their life, and I think that the drugs, for them, they think that drugs are good for their life, and they don't know that it changed their behavior in the society, and at the end they see the results. So we're gonna start with the development about the final production. So we're gonna start with the definition of drugs. So in the definition, I can say that drugs, it is a medical term. A drug is any substance that, when taken into a living organism, may modify one or more of its functions. Drugs can provide temporary relief from unhealthy symptoms, and permanently supply the body with necessary substance that the body can no longer make. So some drugs produce unwanted side effects. Some drugs lead to an unhealthy dependence that has both psychological and behavioral root. So when we get about what is addiction, so when a drug user can't stop taking a drug, even if he wants to, it's called addiction. The urge is too strong to control, even if you know the drug is causing harm. When people start taking drugs, they don't plan to get addicted. They just like how the drugs make them feel. They believe that they can control how much and how often they take the drugs. However, drugs change the brain. Drugs users start to need the drug just to feel normal. That is addiction, and it can quickly take over a person's life. Addiction can become more important than the need to eat or sleep. The urge to get and use the drugs can fill every moment of a person's life. The addiction replaces all the things that the person used to enjoy. A person who is addicted might do always anything, leading, stealing or hurting people, to keep taking the drugs. This could get the people arrested. So we have another interesting question, and it say, how does addiction start? So no one wants to be a drugs addicted or alcohol. So, but this doesn't stop people from getting addicted. The most commonly asked question is simple. So how could my son, my daughter, any family member become a liar, a thief, someone who cannot be trusted? How could this happen, and why won't they stop? So the first thing you must understand about addiction is that alcohol and addictive drugs are basically painkillers. They chemicals kill physical or emotional pains, and after that alter the mind's perceptions or reality. They make people numb. So when we get about what kind of drugs they supposed to use or they use, we have marijuana. Is by far the most widely used illegal drugs. It comes from the cannabis plant, which grows in many countries. People put it in a rolling paper to make marijuana cigars. Smoke it and burns or pipe or mix it in a baked goods or tea and eat or drink it. When we talk about cocaine or crack, that is the same. It comes from the leaf of the coca plant, which grows primarily in South America. Cocaine is processed into a wild powder which people snort or melt and inject. When we talk about ecstasy is mainly taken in pill from, but users have been known they cross and snort or inject the drugs. So when we talk about opium, it is dried milk of the poppy plants and contains morphine and codeine. From morphine, it is a short step to the production of heroin, a powder over twice as potent as morphine. Opiums can be eaten, smoked, or drunk. When we talk about meth, it is a powerfully addictive stimulant that dramatically affects the central nervous system. The drug is made easily in clandestine laboratories with relatively inexpensive over-the-counter ingredients. So when we talk about the consequence of the drugs, we have affect the mind. It's affect the mind. The mind is our most important tool that the human have. So with our mind, we solve the problems we face in life. Drugs do several things that harm one's ability to think or to be fully aware of the present suggestion. These effects continue long after the effect of the drugs appear to have worn off. When we talk about another consequences, that is personality, so there is such a thing as a drug's personalities. It is artificial and it's created by drugs. Drugs can change the behavior of a person from his original personality to one secretly harboring hospitalities and hatred he doesn't permit to show one of the phrase. So when we talk about stress, there is extremely consequences. So the stress, drugs will make you feel as if it is helping you and relaxing and forget about all the illnesses that made you stressed. However, in reality, it is the opposite. Long-term use of drugs can produce a deep impact on the way your brain works and left to increase anxiety and stress. So then we have, which is one thing that is really important too in the society, that is your behavior. So it affects your behaviors too. So the addict will not attempt the without the fact of these drugs used from friends and family members. So he will begin to suffer the effects or his own dishonestly and guilt. So he may become withdrawn and difficult to reasons where he may behave strangely. So there are really important consequences about using drugs. So then we have, which is addict cannot stop using drugs for two reasons. So reason number one is the mental and physical craving caused by drugs caused by drugs reduce which remain in the body. So reason number 2, it said that the biochemical personality caused by drugs and the lifestyle the person adopt to get them. So we have, which is the conclusion of this final assignment. So I conclude this final assignment telling the same. So I already finished this final assignment about the drugs, and I think that using drugs is a necessity that a person has for substances as marijuana, cocaine, and hallucinogens. So in my case, I'm not interested in drugs because it is not good for our health. So this final assignment taught me the consequences of using drugs and terminate if the person that is by my side is using drugs or not. So in my opinion, I advise to that person that change their life, do things different. So talk with your family, with your best friend about this problem that you are having in this moment. So try to change your life, go to the church, so go to a program that can help you with this situation. So I think a person that is using drugs, it needs to change their life. So if they have family, in this case, they can do it for their family. So that's it. This is my final assignment. So I hope you understand everything about it. So because I did. So that's it for this final assignment. So thank you for everything. So I hope you're fine. Thank you so much. Have a good night. Goodbye.